keep on press. Push forward, never let the wicked get you down. Gotta make a step. Some other time that we get caught up in the moment. So
a special good afternoon to everybody and welcome to another Team Unity Roundtable. This episode we focus a bit on the post-election review, where we talk about Team Unity's participation in this election. We talk about our involvement and so on, the experience. Hopefully before the end of the program, a couple of the candidates will join with us. And of course we have with us, as usual, the professor, the scientist, Mr. Alex Bruno. I'm hearing the background noises in your area. You don't seem to stay one place, brother.
No, man. I'm traveling. I have been traveling all weekend from Thursday, Friday night.
Oh, before you go further, let me just express our sympathies to you and your family on the loss of your loved one. I'm aware that you were at a funeral for one of your loved ones who have passed away recently, and I don't know how you managed to deal with all of this in the midst of an election campaign where you're helping us to launch this movement and give us guidance as to things that we should be doing. But please hold strong, brother, and we expect that your family will get things to get better as time goes by.
Okay, well, thank you, Carlos, for making the time out to reach out and to express publicly your sentiments of condolence. And yes, it was a tough time. It was my cousin, but she's like an aunt because she's a big cousin.
Mm-hmm.
She just retired from work in May of this year. All her plans to, do what she had to do to see her grandchildren grow, but she suddenly just left. She was not sick. She had no symptoms of anything. She just left. Right in the middle of our campaign, she actually died on the Sunday, and that was tough. So I had to be juggling in all of that. The burial was on Friday, Saturday actually. So I flew across to Jersey on Friday evening, did the funeral, then I had to fly across to Tampa for another event that I had, a planned event that I had, and that I probably didn't want to get out of, because one of the things that I do, Carlos, when I commit, I commit. And even if we are going through bereavement, I just felt I had to be there to honor the commitment that I made. So that's why I went to Orlando, which is where I am actually right now at the airport, getting ready to board a flight to go to Fort Lauderdale FLL International Airport, then to catch a train to move back on to Boynton Beach. So it has been a real busy few days for me.
Good. I trust that you've been holding on, giving the family the support while you keep your eyes glued on what's going on our lovely nature isle.
Oh yeah, man. I had to eulogize Miss Queen, my blood, so I did that, and I left right after my eulogy to do what I had to do, because life goes on, and while we mourn, but there are some of us who are alive who are still trying to make a living. So that's therapy for me. My hostel is like a therapy for me. It takes me away from the distraction of losing Miss Queen, my blood, and it keeps me, as you say, focused on the other things that we have to do. So yes, I can multitask, and I came on this program live because I wanted to be there for the team. That's why I'm here.
Great. But how do we start our discourse on our post-election review. I mean, and always such a short space of time to get into it. And me
Well,
personally, the experience for me was something new.
mhm,
Um, Meeting the people, talking to persons on a one-on-one basis. I mean, through the short space of time, everybody you wanted to see, you would not have been able to. Um, Notwithstanding the active campaigns against me in and out of the election. But the fact remains TUD has made a name for itself, and now it's left on us to grow the brand and allow things to get get better as
mhm.
time goes by. Um, I remember a our dear brother from Lapland. He was, I would say, he was the most active in the ground. Although everybody else was doing their bits, I would like to single out and compliment our dear brother Jason for being one of the most active participants on the ground. Jason went all out. Jason was meeting with his people. He had the campaign going on. He had the meetings. He had the whole area decorating to the colors and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
And one of the things that we need to take on board is the more the grassroots movement that we have been doing, expanding it further into the other constituencies. And I give big respect to those who competed in all 21 constituencies, because largely largely if we contested only five, and if we had to contest all 21, my God, yeah,
yeah, yeah. You need a network. Elections is a big. Well, election is a big business, but to file 21 candidates and to compete successfully, it really takes a lot for finances, resource, manpower, logistics. A number of things must come together. So yeah, I would like to commend again the team which actually competed with all 21 and won 19 out of the 21. Of course, six areas who won unopposed, but they had to put a machinery in place for the contest in the other
the
constituencies.
other constituencies, yes.
And with our experience doing five, I mean, it really tells you how much demanding that can be on the team. And probably even at this point, I even understand why the main opposition, well, the then main opposition, did not contest. Probably the all of that we have learned um, tells us that this is something that you really must come with, and you must be prepared 100% to get into. So that probably helps to explain it, and one cannot help but to empathize with them if they felt that they were not ready to do so, because it is a very serious undertaking, and we felt it by just having five candidates. You mentioned Brother Jason, who had a very strong presence because he has been around. He has run elections in La Plaine a number of times before and have won. This time he didn't win, and mainly because of the anti-campaign which was mounted against him again by the then opposition.
Not just him,
Well,
not just
I'm talking about La Plaine.
okay, cool.
So I'm talking, and then you can talk about Marigot and so on. But in La Plaine, for sure, I witnessed it, where people who were not contesting actually came into the area with big trucks and campaigning against someone who was contesting, as if they wanted the incumbents to win. I didn't understand why, but yeah, the campaign in La Plaine against Jason was very fierce. Um, and that is something else we can speak about at some other time. But I just don't understand the logic behind certain strategies taken by certain people, and I think Jason would have suffered because of that campaign was mounted against him by people who were not contesting. It just didn't make sense to me. Why would you go against someone and ask people not to vote and not to vote for that someone who's contesting? And you're not. You're allowing the other side to win that you really do not want to win. So what really is the motive behind
The
it?
objective.
Yeah, again, I'm lost. I'm not blaming that totally on why Jason didn't win, but boy, they went against him savagely. And I wouldn't be surprised if it contributed to his defeat, at least 50% of it. But that obviously, we're not looking for excuses. That's water under the bridge. And the same was true for other people in other areas, I'm sure, as well. St. Joseph, Rosa Central. About Granby, people didn't make too much of a hue and cry about Granby because people felt that our candidate was not going to perform very well against an incumbent, which is very strong, and a stronghold of the incumbent
Stronghold.
party.
Mm-hmm.
And in Marigot, which is a stronghold of a party which was not contesting, we felt our leader, you, would have feared and showed up a bit more. But again, you can speak of your experiences or to your experiences in terms of the campaign which was mounted against you. You can speak for that
Yeah.
because you are here as a candidate. So you can let us know to what extent. But we are not again using that to blame anyone. We're just giving actual reality, stating cases which actually took place on the campaign trail. So tell us a little bit about Margot, um, where you ran, Carlos.
Well, Marigot, for example, a lot of the needs have been expressed by the people on the ground in terms of the needs for improvement in the feeder roads, in terms of needs for improvement in, well, as I'm on feeder roads, agriculture overall,
Mm,
um, as well as in certain areas of the constituencies. Concord, for example, needs for the area, for example, has largely been abandoned. And they told me straight up, Carlos, we're area that represented by two PAL reps. Concord is probably the only village in Dominica that has two PAL reps. If you know Concord well, you know it's separated by the river.
yes.
And on one side is considered the Kalinago side, and on the other side is considered Marigot side, but is it's the same village. It's just separated by a river. And they, for example, they talk about the playing field, which has largely been abandoned, and a little sporting facility for the students of the school, the Concord Primary School, and that
I'm not hearing you, Carlos. I'm not sure what happened.
yes, internet struggles. They talk about the bus stop for the area, which has largely been abandoned since Hurricane Maria. I mean, it doesn't take much, but the villagers from the area did what they could to get it to some semblance of usability. But but they told me, anytime rain falls, you cannot stay in that bus stop.
Alright.
Well, these are
So,
just examples. In terms of the mounted campaign against me, it was a silent campaign. It was a silent campaign. It wasn't um, to the extent that we saw it in
La
Lynn,
Plaine.
but in Marigot, it was a silent campaign.
Okay. And again, I do not know why, but I guess the people who waged this campaign. I mean, I witnessed the La Plaine one, and there. I mean, I don't want to really get personal with individuals, but there are people who carried my namesake and the things I heard them say personally with my ears about me and others on the ground. I'm like, but what is? I am sometimes lost to understand this strategy that people use But again, in time, everything will be understood, and that is not water under the bridge in terms of our experiences. And I would rather, instead of thinking about the negatives, let's talk about the positives. Because Carlos, we contested in 5 areas: Granby, Marigot, Rosa Central, La Plaine, and St. Joseph.
Mhm.
Granby is generally traditionally known as a very, very strong area for the incumbent. Marigot is also known as a very, very strong area for the former incumbent opposition. One practically does not expect to do as well in those areas. That does not mean you must not send a candidate up. So we knew what we were getting into going into those areas. And realistically, as a party, although we thought we could have won, but the results does not baffle us. And I'll explain why. The La Plaine area is a different area, which I think, as I explained before, could have been a bit more progressive for us. So we dealt with that already. And Rosa Central, our candidate, they went up against the wife of the prime minister, an incumbent. Um, so again, we expected that we could have won because you don't go into a contest thinking you're going to lose. But realistically, we knew it was a mountain. Uh, and then we had, well, that was it. That was the 5 areas, right? I looked at them, right?
Yes.
We had
You look at St. Joseph.
St. Joseph. Oh, so St. Joseph was another interesting case where with Ian, Ian is a good candidate and a very quiet, meticulous gentleman, and he was up against the machinery of the Dominica Labour Party. It's tough to beat with an exciting younger candidate. So I felt they had the edge, and we didn't win. We didn't prevail in that win. So again, no complaining. We're just giving our own analysis of where things are. Here's the reality. And Carlos, you can be a witness to this. We had 3 events as a party. We are under 6 months old. We had 3 events. We had the launching of the party, we had a press conference, and we had the election campaign that we ran. These 3 events, that's what we had. For our launching, we spent at least $18,000 to launch the movement and to do what we did. We printed 1 banner, 2
As in
posters.
Calibishi.
Yeah, for the launching in Calibishi. We printed 1 full-length banner, 2 posters. That's all. And we made some black and white flyers. We had no radio advert. We did no ground work house to house. We spent $0 in the shop buying drinks, giving handouts, nothing. And then we had a press conference at Fort Young Hotel, which we paid for. It was a very exquisite event, just as our luncheon, and that cost some money as well. And then the other event we had was a campaign event where we spent a little over $25,000. That was it. So all told, we spent around 50,000 thereabout EC dollars, and we were able, with no meeting in St. Joseph, no meeting in Marigot, no meeting in Granby, no meeting in Rosa Central, no house to house in any of these areas, no purchasing of drinks, grocery, and other things that are done, no sound system on the road, no public gathering in all these areas. In Lapland, we had 1 or 2 meetings with a small sound system, no house to house, no money giving, no extravagant lavwayers campaign. We did all of that, and we were able to get over 100 votes, Carlos. You can bear me witness. We were able to get over 100 votes with zero campaign per se. No meetings, no big truck, no system, no posters.
If you had to compare, if you had to compare the spend morning spend on both parties contesting the election, our spend would not maybe not count as a percent.
No, we would not. We should not get a vote. And what the point I'm making is we did not have a presence because with $50,000 for the entire thing, what much can you do? I mean, we printed
A party that just started, less than 6 months old.
exactly with no campaign presence, just the name out there and our little social media programs. We were able to attract over 100 votes, Carlos. That is significant.
And with an active campaign to silence us.
Not just to silence us, to crush us. The people who were not contesting said that we are non-entity, we have no impact. In fact, they never mentioned the party was contesting. They always say independence,
I
independence,
know
independence.
independence only, yes.
Yeah, they never said a
All
party
cases
was
they get.
contesting. It's only after the election now they say, oh, your party got only that. But they don't see the benefit in getting that because that's 100 plus Dominicans who gave the party its endorsement without offering a cent. No massive rally, no meetings, no major paraphernalia, nothing. And yet, over 100 Dominicans were able, within a 1 week that we said we contesting, but we didn't say we were contesting up until the week before election. Think of it, Carlos. And we said we were doing it, and within that 1 week, there were over
Actually 2 days.
two
Actually
days.
2 days.
Exactly.
2 days before nomination day.
We said so. And we had over 100 plus people. If people honestly look at that and do not see the the sign behind this, they're going to get a blow later on. Can you imagine for the next 4 or 5 years we're going to be actively engaged, building our team, getting candidates in place, spending in certain areas? Can you imagine what the outcome is going to be? So we are very happy with where we are. I want to thank, on behalf of the team, the many Dominicans, 100 plus me, who came out there to vote and to
Mhm.
support our team on our symbol and our candidates, Carlos. To tell them that we are honored that if you could have left your home, go to the voting booths and cast over 100 votes for us. Carlos, that
As a
is
matter of fact, one of the candidates I'll make a mention of, Brother Jason John Baptist, he got a message from someone, a voter, who told him, Jason, I just want to let you know that I went to the election. I went to cast my ballot, and I was honored to be voting for you, knowing the kind of person that you are and what you stand for. So these are the messages and the feedback that we're getting on the ground from persons out there.
let me read something that I got. Inbox, I won't call the person's name, but I'm going to read verbatim. In fact, Carlos, is there any way I can share the text? No? Can I print the text for the world to see? Carlos,
Um,
maybe not. If I can't, it's
uh,
okay. If I can't, it's okay.
uh,
But I
yeah,
can
you'd
read
have
it.
to put it on the slide. Go ahead, go ahead.
I can read it. Here's what somebody messaged me at 8:51 p.m. on Tuesday. Tuesday gone. In the evening, I guess, of election. The person said, good evening to you, Alex. I felt proud voting for Jason in Roseau Central today. Wishing team unity in the days ahead, more blessings in abundance. Carlos, to me, that's $1 million. The individual took the time out to write to me. I have the name, it's not like a hoax, and said, good evening to you, Alex. I felt proud voting Jason in Roseau Central today. Wishing team unity in the days ahead, more blessings in abundance. Hey, Las Carlos, if that is not an endorsement to cause you to feel as if you're on the right track, what else will? That's just one, and I can read several others of these. But because of where I am, because I have people all around me, I don't want to really get into too much intense discussion. But we could not let this Sunday pass and not at least make a statement. But when I'm in my studio, I will express a bit more, Carlos. That is what one person who voted for Jason, as much as Jason didn't win in Roseau, but that to me is a win, where that person left their home and felt honored to cast a vote for Jason. In life, you have to thank God for your small blessings and hope that those blessings multiply to get big ones. You do not get big overnight. You do not just get born. You do not just run while you're born. Sometimes you creep, you fall, you get up, you tap, you struggle and then you walk. That is what community is about. I think we have been perfectly launched and implemented. And from here is just to continue to learn the groups and continue to work until we get into adulthood and eventually get into the government of Dominica.
I see the Charleses are keeping us hot. Mind they say Team Unity is a Charles party. If you look at the comment from Ir- Irvin Charles,
Hmm.
he wants to know if TUD will get a Senate seat in Parliament. I can already answer that TUD doesn't have a Senate seat in Parliament because we did not win any seat. So,
Well, you don't have to win to get a Senate seat. The people who win can appoint people into the Senate. Like I think the opposition people who won, they are the ones who have to appoint. So I do not know whether they made any appointment as yet. As I said initially, it would be nice if they felt the need to appoint one of our team members. But if we don't get nominated, it's not our control because we don't control who gets nominated. So no, we don't have to win to get nominated, but it is all in the hands of the people who won. The Miss Paul from Salisbury and Mr. Charles from Marabot. But Carlos is your namesake. He should put you in the Senate, Carlos. It would be nice for Marabot to have two people from Marabot, two young people, because you and this guy
well,
are about same age, eh? You
yes,
know. So it would be nice if he put you in the Senate. You and him contested in the same area. I would have done that if I were he, but no one knows what he's going to do. Or we don't even know if he's going to be the leader of the opposition because between the two, they have to decide who's going to lead it and is that person who make the appointment. So
right.
we never know. In that, we don't control that and we're not going to cry over what we can't control. But you would make a good Senator, Carlos, I think. So let's see what happens. So that's the answer to Mr. Charles. We do not know what's going to happen. We don't control that and we don't worry too much about it. We just continue to commend the winners and we're looking forward to working with the independent candidates, all of those who contested and the two winners. In fact, it would just be perfect if everybody who contested work with this new movement of ours, this unity movement, and decide to run as a party. Because as an independent, you cannot really. Independents don't form governments. Winners, candidates do. But it's going to be difficult in Dominican politics to have 21 candidates running independent. It doesn't really, I don't see it as the way forward, the future. Those independents now must decide to be part of a party. We have a unity party. We run, you run. I think the natural thing would be that we speak, we come together, we work it out, and we run under our community banner. You have nothing to
And,
lose. You have a.
and,
Hmm?
and I want to use this opportunity to compliment the Prime Minister for extending the olive branch where we give him closer, and he still saw it necessary to invite us to hear things from our point of view, realizing that our party was the only party who presented a manifesto. He
Mhm.
also recognized the independent candidates having presented plans and programs for Dominica, and acknowledging the fact that ideas don't reside in one set of brains.
Let me
And
tell.
and with, and with,
Mhm.
and with that in mind, you have another question from Aloma Castle, who wants to know what's the next step for TUD.
Yeah, let me just add something about the Prime Minister and then I'll answer my sister's question. All right. Let me tell that the Honorable Prime Minister of Dominica knows that we want to take him out of office. There's no
Yes,
issue with that. There's no doubt, no question. We believe that the Prime Minister has had a long enough run at the helm of our government, and time is time. So I had been unambiguous about stating that we are coming after him. We want his job. He knows that. Anybody who thinks otherwise in terms of us, they think otherwise at their own peril. But we want to take him out of office more than
I,
anything
I,
else.
I, I would love to have his job.
But that's what we want
Of course, I'd
because
love to have his job.
he has
Mr.
the
Prime
job.
Minister, I want your job, but do what you're doing for Dominica people still. After that, we will come and continue doing the work to build our country.
Yeah,
I just don't resign instead.
so we don't have a problem with him, and he knows we're coming at him. And as you said, he invited us. We came. We had a discussion. That's how you, in politics. In politics, you must be able to meet with your opponents. There's no enmity in politics, and he is not an enemy. We want to take him out. We don't think his policies have been progressive enough for the majority of Dominicans. I mean, he may tell you otherwise, but we don't agree. But the fact that he was able to invite us to have discussions, and that we had friendly and frank discussions, it is a good sign in the right direction. That's how progressive politics should be. You cannot be an enemy to somebody you're trying to beat, even if you're trying to beat them. Yes, he may have been involved in activities that we cannot confirm, but we hear. That's not our business. Our business is to work for the people of Dominica, not to focus on the prime minister. So,
Mhm.
so the conversation that we have been having with him is encouraging. I want to say publicly that we have no amalgamation, no relationship, no deal with him. I explained to the public that we only had about $50,000 this election season, and that's what we had. If we had more, I think we could have done better. True, Carlos, a little more money, maybe $250,000, we might have done a bit better. But
Oh,
all we had was 50,000 EC dollars, under 20,000 US. Um, so you can't really contest with that kind of money. And in terms of Aloma's question, what next for Timility? We continue to do this. Aloma, we continue to open up to the people, be honest and genuine with the people and what we do. You see, we expressed how much money we spent, how much money we had. We said that we printed only, well, we are the only party with a manifesto. We actually printed 100 manifestos. We printed 100 shirts. We made an effort to put ourselves out there. We met with all the observer mission. We met with all the opposition and other groups who were interested to meet with us. We met with the majority party, and we have been meeting with people on the ground. Our plan from here is to continue to build our brand, to establish in all the 21 constituencies, winning candidates will contest for us at the next election. We plan to run every constituency at the next election. We plan to continue to fundraise and to use our youthful base to continue to build our party's image because our party is based on the strength of the youth. Many of the people who are part of our party have not come out as yet. They're behind the scenes working on getting things organized. So the youth is what is driving our movement. So we pretty much are on a developmental track. We're going to continue to develop our brand and to compete as a unity party at the next election. We invite those who competed last election because they seem to be progressive and they felt the need to contest to keep our democracy alive. We invite all of them to continue to talk to us and hopefully to be part of our team so we can run as Team Unity Dominica, not as independents, as Team Unity Dominica next election. And I think if we do that, including those two who have won, I think we're already a winner just to start. And when we have the other candidates come on board, I think we can beat the incumbent party at the next election easily if we do what is right now and plan steadily until the next elections are called. Give and take 5 years, maybe 3.5. But I think if we have at least 2 years to work, we should be able to contest to win the next election. That's our plan, Aloma. All right. There's another question, Carlos.
yeah, Brother Chris was saying that TUD's plan and message based on their manifesto should be the only future steps that should be presented to the people. That is not the only steps, Brother Chris, because if politics things evolve, and yes, our manifesto, our plans and programs based on our manifesto, we will continue pushing that to the people and not just to the people. We push it to the majority party as well so that they can implement ideas from our manifesto which would benefit the people moving forward. So of
No,
course we want
go ahead.
agriculture. agriculture to boom. That is on our manifesto as well. Of course, we want the electoral reform to take place. That is on our manifesto, as well as reforming all other areas where it is necessary.
Oh,
I can see a lot more. Let you. I see you wanted to interject.
so what Chris is saying, that what did he really say? Can you explain what he said in his statement? Because I didn't
No,
get it.
he's saying that TUD plans, future plans, should be based on their manifesto, which should be near and only future step that should be presented to the people.
Okay, well, I have a little difficulty understanding what he's saying that we should do, but I think you answered. I think you answered correctly. That our manifesto is just a snippet of where we would like to go. Again, if we had more time, more money, would have developed a full, maybe 50, 60 page manifesto with all the major initiatives. But we did good enough with what we had. Imagine we had $50,000, Chris. 50 total. We did 3 events on that, including printing a manifesto and 100 t-shirts. Very well. Carlos, do you have one of the shirts on right now?
Yes.
Can you? Yeah, I mean, we printed and on just that money. So can you imagine, Chris, when we get like good money to contest, which we will get next election, we'll be able to do all of what you're saying and more. But for now, our party remains the only party which presented a plan, a manifesto this election. And that goes down in history, in the history of Dominica, the least funded movement. The independents had more money than us. The independents. We didn't have money. And look at what we were able to do. So, with meticulous planning, with our public outreach, we will be in a better place to be able to put on a very spirited contest next election, Chris. Thanks for your comment. Irvin Chelsea, Alex, can you tell us how you raised the money? $50,000 among us? Among us, my brother. That's cake change. When you talk about political spending, 50,000. You're asking me, Carlos, Irwin, us, among us. We have to invest in ourselves before people can invest in us. I'm not talking about 50,000 US, I'm talking about 50,000 EC. And if it's just 50,000 US, that's a drop in the ocean, going up against a team with millions. So yeah, that money was.
And you need to specify that is not for the election. You're talking about the events leading up to the election, including the setup of the party.
Yeah, man, the setup, the organization, the paperwork, the launching in Galibishi, the press conference at Fort Young Hotel, and the full campaign that we announced we're going to take part in 2 days before nomination. It involves all of that. $50,000 in the life of the party that we've spent. To me, I am so proud of us, Carlos, our ability to manage and to present a team that the entire country now knows about on $50,000, my brother. So that is the strong part about our team. Multiply that by 10, and we good. And we hope when we would have put a team in place that the public would see the value in spending and investing in us, because we would have what it takes to form the next government. It is simple ABC. So that is what we're working with moving forward. And we are going to continue on that track until we achieve our objective. Building a team, building a party, winning an election calls for number of steps to be taken in the right direction, and we are taking those steps. No one should, well, they can feel that way if they want, that they will peril. But we believe that if we do what we have to do right, we should be able to seriously contest to win the next election.
Mhm.
And contrary to what some think, we're not angry for power. I certainly am not going to be running for power. Carlos, you're running, and that is nice. But my job is to help, to organize, and to build, and to unite. That's my job.
And
Um,
work with everybody who is willing to work together for unity and moving Dominica forward.
any and everyone who's willing to do that,
Best interest of Dominica.
including the former
Dominica
member,
first.
including the former members of the former incumbent. party. And then one of the members, I won't call it party's name because I have taken a decision to move past that party, but one of the members messaged me and said, "Your party did poorly. Can you explain?" I told the member, "My party got more votes than your party. Can you explain?" Because the last I checked, the party which won got a lot of votes. We who ran against them, we
Yes.
didn't get a lot, but we were the second party. There was no other
Yes.
party. So when you come and tell me my party did poorly, think about yours that did not run, that didn't get not even one vote. How do you compare zero with
Wow.
100? Zero with 100 now. So I told him that, and he didn't continue writing to me. I guess he maybe felt offended, and tried to get into some boycott situation. But again, we're not going to go on that road. The boat has sailed. We're moving on, and I think those people who contested this election are the people who I think we should focus on, including those who didn't contest, but they should be willing to speak and to have a conversation that yield towards progress and nation building, not party building, nation building. That's what we're about. Yes, I see Chris has a chapter. Carlos, can you read for me, please, and tell us what it
He
is?
wants to know if TUD would welcome senators if any side reach out, even the current administration, and will TUD be ready to do so, even to hold that said party accountable, whether it's in parliament if needs be, instead of saying yes to every dialogue or debate.
No, we would not take senatorship from the incumbent, from the Labour Party. That would mean that we are part of them. We would not do that. No uncertainty. We would say thank you, but we would not accept it. But yes, we would accept to serve as opposition senators if the opposition members who have been elected invite us to so do. It would be an honor to serve with them in Parliament on behalf of Dominica and Dominicans. That's what we would do. But certainly not with the Dominican Labour Party. We have no direct relationship with them, and we do not want to serve in the majority as part of the majority. We no, that's not where our politics is. I hope I answered the question correctly, Mr. Chris, who is a member of our team. If my memory serves me right. But it's nice to have him on the outside posing questions for to us in the inside. So, Chris, thank you for your questions. Very valuable questions. Did I answer all the questions that have
Yes.
been posed thus far, Carlos?
Yes.
Yes, because that's
Yes.
what,
All
yeah,
questions.
that, that's what we're about. Being truthful and honest with the people as to our intentions. It used to be said that people like me, I'm hungry for power. Now something else is being said because people understand what it is that we're about. One of the things I wanted to raise, Carlos, one of the things I wanted to raise, but I realize my time is getting nearer to board my flight. So we will go until 4, but I don't think we'll go beyond that. All right.
Right.
um, one of the things that I have noticed is by speaking to people, because I meet hundreds of people, Dominicans, and almost every Dominican who speaks with me understands the politics of Dominica and agree with us that the incumbents can be beaten, but the approach must be different. And a number of people, more than 50% of them, 60% of them, 70% of them told me that they supported probably the former opposition party, but they feel as if they are back in time and they are saying what should be done, which is what we are doing. So I say, but didn't you listen to our campaign? That's what we're doing. Well, I didn't really listen to all it because I was told to listen to you all, but now I'll listen closer. So what the people who have migrated are saying is what we are saying. There is a big brain drain of Dominicans who have left the shores of our country and now live overseas. And if those people come back to Dominica, the incumbent fall right away, boom. Those people with the connections, so-called the intelligentsia, the brains, are
Mhm.
seemingly supporting and favoring what is happening with the incumbent, and they are using their skills to sort of influence those people who are not as academically affluent. And that is one of the things that we have observed in terms of the people who control the narrative. There are some who do it overseas, but they're on the social media and they have not none, but they have very little impact because people they don't influence people on social media. There are some very bright people. I don't want to give any credit to anybody, but who regularly comment on social media, but they only make noise in that space. They don't influence the people on the other side, and they are brainy people as well. So the brain have hurt progressive politics in Dominica, and the people that I speak to are saying that's what we probably should do, and I'm telling us what we are doing. I'm one of those who have left Dominica. I didn't live permanently because, as you know, I'm in Dominica all the time, and I'm trying to contribute by maintaining a presence. And
Mhm.
surprisingly, there are some who are telling me, "Don't talk about Dominica. I'm not in Dominica." But if I don't talk, and other people who have left do not talk, it's going to be worse because I am seen as somebody who knows a little about politics. So can you imagine if I don't talk, if I wasn't involved in helping you, Carlos, what would have happened to you? Who would have helped you? You think the Prime Minister would
Well,
have sent somebody to help you?
I would have probably left the island.
Carlos, how much
I would
money
have
did
probably.
you? Yeah, how much money did you pay me to help you for the past 6 months?
Oh, none, none,
Zero.
not just this evening, this afternoon. I was telling someone that we need to appreciate guys like you while you are here offering yourself for virtually no money because
But
you have a
virtually,
lot to offer.
but virtually no, no, none, zero, not a cent you paid me.
No, 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 I never pay you nothing.
In exchange, I
And and
am.
and
Hmm,
yeah, vilified, crucified, so many things. The person saying that Alex taking advantage of Carlos when it should be the other way around. Me that taking advantage of you. I will have you giving me the help. You understand? And I will tell you here on this public forum, there are persons who are inquiring for you to be their mentor.
well, boy,
You understand?
I am open to assist in any way and every way that I can. I will not always be as open and probably I feel available and willing, but for now, I'm giving this my 100%. And to make it to add to that, Carlos, I am spending my own money. Our first couple of events, Carlos, did the party come with any money to spend?
But,
No.
but, but the party has to look for financing, and who better than that? If everybody inside doesn't have, we ask who we figure that might have access to it, and we thank you
Exactly.
for your input
No matter how
financially, otherwise.
no matter how small. So this
Yeah.
is the truth about my involvement in the politics of our country. And I expect no appointment, no ambassadorial position, no senate, nothing in return. There are people who had money, who has money, who came to me and said, "Can step up as the leader, stop playing games, become the leader of the party, and look 100,000 US dollars." Carlos, I shared that communication with you. That is not my modus operandi. That's not my MO. I don't want to be it. I just want us to build a team that will be able to attract others to decide to work together. And anyone now who thinks of building another party would be just losing it altogether. Because our team, our party represent what is necessary as a platform to build from. There is nothing hidden about it. The way in which we develop the party and build the party is built for everybody. So take advantage of the opportunity, get into the business, and let's build from here. Carlos, I suspect I may have to run in a little while. I know we have 8 minutes,
Yes,
but
I was just going to bring to your attention that we are the 40th minute mark on this live, and we we can start looking at winding down.
yes,
Folks, it has been a good 49 minutes now interacting with you guys. Thank you for the questions and the comments. Ian Irvin Charles, Aloma Castle, our brother Chris Bugunu, thank you for the interaction. And let's allow Mr. Bruno an opportunity to hop his plane safely, get to his next destination. Hopefully, Dominica soon, perhaps.
yeah, man. By probably the weekend, you never know. Carlos, I'm always there. I'm always there. When I there, I use the time as to meet the people on the ground. And there is a common notion on social media. Well, it's not a common notion. It's some people, maybe one or two isolated cases where people think that I am not appreciated. Oh my! Tell them, Carlos, you've been on the ground all the time. Tell them what you
But
observe, what you experience.
the, people who are for and against the party have been embracing you on both sides,
Both
and
sides.
that is the idea of team unity.
Yeah, man. We have no pressure. We feel good about what we're doing. We ask people to join our team. If you are listening now and you think you have a role to play a role with us because the platform has already been created. There is no need to go to reinvent the wheel. We personally reach out to the independents, those who have won and those who didn't win. Let's have a conversation. Let us do unity right for once. If we can unite properly, we can have very good results moving forward. Especially those people who felt the need and who had the wisdom to contest in this election. I think the future is in our hands.
Do we have time for one more question?
Let's take it, man. Let's take it before I leave.
Yeah, from our brother Chris, who wants to know what is TUD's plan is in if any, as far as raising funds and having membership contributions. By what I mean, barbecues or small events from grassroots.
Yes, Chris. Oh, yeah, man. We certainly going to be doing that. We're going to be hitting the ground. We're going to be doing bell mashi, traditional bell mashi. We're going to be doing all the raffle. These are for basic little housekeeping matters. But for the big campaign funding, we're going to present policies. We're going to present issues. We're going to write projects. And we're going to go to international agencies and tell them, look, we have had a government in place for 25, going on 30 years. And we think we are what the future demands. And here's our plan to develop our country. First of all, here's our team to win. And we think if you invest in us, we should be able to have a very productive future. And you, as a sponsor of our campaign, would benefit in ways, not in a nefarious ways, but in ways that will enhance your idea and your ideals. Because what we will do, we'll cut deals, but not deals under the cover promising things that are not. We will let people know what deals we're cutting if people are giving us money. If there's a bottling company that give us money for campaign, we will allow them the opportunity to develop bottling back in Lubia again. So your plan would be to redevelop the bottling plant in Lubia Dominica breweries with the contribution that you make towards the new government of our country. And that's the kind of deals we're going to cut. We're not in the business of saying, okay, give that to me and give me 100 million being under the table. Pala, not interested in that. You give us 100,000 US dollars. We say, when we win, if you have a business that can benefit our people, you can go ahead and do it. That is how we're going to cut our business. I'm not too sure if that's how it is done now, but that's how TUD intends to do it, Chris. And if you decide to run, let's say, for Rosa Central, Chris, you will be in the know. You will know exactly what conversations we are having and what deals we are cutting. And we will tell the people as well what deals we are cutting with 7-Eleven, Minia 7-Eleven, with Do It Center, whoever decides. And if they choose that they do not want their name to be called, fine. But if you want to disclose, we will disclose and say, when we form the government, here's the only plan we have to give a bona fide contract for people to do things based in their expertise. And all the money spent will be spent for the people of Dominica, not for us. So we will not be building houses and places and mansions. Our candidates will be living just as the average Dominica member, living as they are, not exorbitant lives. That is a pledge that we have taken, starting our process. Carlos. Chris is on a ball. He's still asking questions.
Yeah, Chris don't want to don't want to stop. Chris let the man go off his plate now, man.
How about reaching out to business and
To
advertising?
businesses.
Good, but he's all. But Chris, I thought he was our PRO. Chris, what are you doing now, boy? Chris, you're selling out all our business. Chris selling out all our business publicly, there, boy. Well,
Chris, 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 yeah, you boy.
it takes all
Oh,
This is just a darling. Chris, I love you, my dear brother. But please don't put up more. You are letting the other team know what we're going to do. Please don't say more. Keep that private between us in our inner circles. But yes, Carlos, to be quite frank, that's how we intend to run politics. Very transparent and very open. Yes, you need money to run campaign, but our promises to the people who put money in our campaign would be for the benefit of our country. And we will let the public know who gave, and we'll let the public see what who gave is benefiting. And of course, all businesses are in this to make money. They'll make some money too, but Dominicans will benefit from the monies that they make and the money that they put into our campaign. It's all about Dominica in the long run.
All right, folks, 1 minute before the hour of 4 o'clock. We'd like to thank you all for tuning into our program. Once again, we start back our weekly engagements. We'll be doing this as much and as often as possible. We'll be on the ground. We'll be seeing you in the trenches. We'll be coming to your homes. We'll be starting our program. And let us reach out to us. We're ready to take on any advice and so on, as long as it's constructive. And we're willing to work with anyone.
Any and everyone who's willing to work progressively for Dominica First, not for party. Not for party. We are a unity group. We build a team with people with like mind, progress. We invite the independent candidates, especially those who won and those who didn't win. Gentlemen and lady, let us talk. We have something that can work if we do it right. Let's do it right once and for all. And I think if we do, and we have a year or two to plan the next election, even the Labour Party supporters will say, yes, it's time to vote a new team in. And let's do that in the interest of our country moving forward. I thank you so much, Carlos, for the opportunity. I really must run now because if I don't, I'll miss my flight. But Carlos, you have been a very fantastic leader. It's a dream working with you. You make life very easy for me. And I wish I had discovered you. And I wish you had discovered me when it comes to politics. Let's say about 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago. I think today things might have been different for the opposition. I think you know what I'm saying.
Anyway, guys, that was a splendid one. Nuke Pali, Alex. Guys, thanks for watching.
Okay, Margot man talking. Margot man talking patois. Cheers, brother. Take it easy.
All right.